We're going back to 1962 to my bar mitzvah, the bar mitzvah of me, Marvin Silverman, August 25th, 1962 in Brooklyn, New York. That's my father, Hyman Silverman, in 1962, getting ready for the big night. Here she comes, my mother, Betty Silverman. Betty's maiden name was Cohen. Her parents had died 2 or 3 years before the bar mitzvah, so they weren't there. That's a friend, Stephen, 7th grade friend. Wish they had sound back in those days with 8mm movies. My sister Joyce. Who is she calling? It's her boyfriend Bob, who then became her fiance and became husband Bob in June of 1964. 2 years after this, there was another affair, a wedding. He's explaining to me what it's like becoming a man at the bar mitzvah of 13 years old. Getting ready. Mother and father back to get ready to go to the event, the reception. Where's my yarmulke? There it is. Where's my tallis? Magic, my tallis. Also known as a prayer shawl. Off to the reception. And now we're at the reception. Temple Sinai on Eastern Parkway in Brooklyn, New York. Just a factoid, this whole bar mitzvah, including the band, all the food, everything you see, rental of the facility, was $1,500. And that's just about what I collected in gifts. And that helped make this possible. The photographer that did the video and the still photography was $300 for all this filming and editing. And in those days, there was no computer to edit on. You had to cut film and paste together and splice and cut. My sister Joyce and me, and there's my friend Stephen again. Uncle Irving talking and raising his glass with his wife Aunt Doris. The Listopads, they 2 years before, a year and a half before, came from Poland. They were the cousins from Poland, cousins of my father. Aunt Doris and Uncle Irving. Those are neighbors. They were accompanied by the Listopad children. Sheila, future husband of my sister Joyce, Bob. The Listopads. Those are neighbors. Lived one of our tenants in our house and the other one across the street. Those are all neighbors. The three people sitting on the chair. My sister and her boyfriend, future husband Bob. Cousin Marilyn. It's the neighbor. Neighbors from across the street. Neighbor from across the street. And my mother joins us. Neighbors, again, we had lots of neighbors. In New York, you have lots of people living on a street. For some reason, the guy with the cigarette, I think his name was Ivan, if I remember. He was a friend. Those are friends of my sister who lived down the street. She used to babysit for them. Sheila and her boyfriend and Aunt Molly Knapp behind them. At the bar now are neighbors and friends. Now some relatives with a cigarette. And Dutch Silverman, married to Irving Silverman. Morris is in the front. All of them ended up moving to Florida. Friends of my mother and father just passed by there, and it looks like it's dance time. It's Chubby Checker's Twist. The big craze in 1962. Let's do the twist again. twisting time. Uncle Morris. Mother and father. In the front, Sheila with her boyfriend, my sister Joyce with her boyfriend Bob, and there's the mother and father of the bar mitzvah boy. All family, aunts, cousins, uncle. People that are heading for the food now, that's Fishel and his wife. They were friends of my parents from way back before anybody thought of us. Cousin Jeffrey and his sister Debbie dancing. Sally, a good friend of my mother's. Hi, Sally. Oh, that's smoking. Everybody smoked then. I'm glad my mother stopped once she knew the reason to stop when we found out one of her parents had lung cancer. That was a neighbor. My father seems to be having a good time, and so is the neighbor. Another neighbor. Wow, we had friendly neighbors back in those days. The neighbor's daughter. Second cousins. Finally getting ready for the meal. My friend Stephen and second cousin Helena. That's a cousin and a second cousin, Isabella. Cousin and neighbor. Cousin was the boy. Cousin the boy, David. Neighbor. The bar mitzvah boy and his mother and father. The sister brings the talis, the prayer shawl. That means it must be time to cut the challah, the bread. Saying the prayer over the bread. Glad my father took over. Big bread. Family table. Cousins, uncle, aunts, neighbors, second cousins to the left of me, friend to the right of me. These two boys are brothers. David and Mark, cousins. Time for the mother-son dance. The father-daughter dance. 2 years he'll be dancing with her at her wedding. Little did he know. That is the relatives table. In the front row are the rise-offs. The rise-offs are second cousins as well. One of them was one of the first people in the country to do open heart surgery. I recall him practicing techniques on dogs at Kings County Hospital in Brooklyn. There he is, the doctor. Neighbor's table. Boy, our neighbors liked each other a lot. Ethel, the neighbor downstairs, she was one of the tenants. Uncle Morris and Aunt Letty, the first to move to Miami Beach in about 1969. Moved into a condo on South Beach. Nobody wanted to move there because it was old and run down, and little did the rest of us know what would happen to that condo's value. Time for the horror. I don't know why they didn't do the thing where I sit on the chair and they lift the chair up. Kind of glad. Maybe I asked them not to. That horror is a fast dance. My mother and her sister. That's one of the neighbor children I was with. My mother's with a neighbor. Back to the twist with my sister Joyce. Cousin Judy. Everybody loved the twist because it was easy to do and fun, and the music was great. Chubby Checker. He ended up being a classmate of one of my first associates in private practice. Yeah, we didn't use DJs in those days. We had bands that knew how to play the right music for bar mitzvahs. That's mostly friends. Friends of my sister. No idea who they are. The two people, the woman and the man, they're friends of, were friends of my dad's. Next to me in the back is cousin Loretta Knapp. She's the daughter of Molly and Arthur Knapp. And that's Anne, friend of my mother's. There's my cousin Loretta, Sally from Long Island. The bottle top was on, don't worry. The cigarette wasn't lit, don't worry. That was summertime. So that's why so many people look nice and tan. Big young man in the back is cousin Jeffrey Silberman with a B. When they came to Ellis Island, they just had to put down a name, and some put it with a V, Silverman, and some put Silberman. Now in the 21st century, that cake would probably cost as much as the whole reception cost. Lighting of the candles, Grandma Silverman. That's my father's mother, last grandparent alive. She loved cats. I must have inherited it from her. She had cats all over the place. She had a cat house. Uncle Morris, my father's brother, and his wife, Aunt Letty, as I said before, the first to go south from New York to Miami Beach. Aunt Molly was my mother's sister, and Arthur's was her husband. They ended up moving to Florida too. They bought a motel on Biscayne Boulevard in the late 60s, early 70s. That's Aunt Shirley, my father's sister, with her son, my cousin Donald Dashevsky. Uncle Aby, another one of my father's brothers, the most successful of the group. He had a cabinet making business. He was putting cabinets in all the new homes being built on Long Island. Aunt Esther and Uncle Harry. Harry, again, is a brother of my father. It was a large family, Silverman family. Another brother, and Aunt Dutch, and Uncle Irving. Irving is my father's brother. My father's sister. Doris Goldstein. My father's cousins, the Rizoffs, father of the heart doctor. They had a liquor business in New Jersey, supplied all the liquor for the bar mitzvah. The Listopods, as I said, came a year and a half or so earlier from Poland. And sister and boyfriend of the sister of the bar mitzvah boy. Looks like mother and father were getting some pleasure out of this event. And mother and father lighting the bar mitzvah candle. This is where the bar mitzvah boy comes up and gives a little bar mitzvah speech. Too bad there wasn't sound. It would have been nice to hear it. That man that keeps sticking his head in is working with the photographist, so he's constantly giving directions for the still photography and for the movie. There's the actual bar mitzvah boy speech. Looks like I had it memorized, no paper. It's easy to memorize things when you're a kid. Your mind works in different ways. And we're at the end of the movie with, let's see, cousin David Silverman. Now, cousin Mark Silverman, David's little brother. Bye-bye.